Welcome, 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 trivalent beings of spirit, mind, and body. Time for the Ask Doc Alkebulanese Solutions show, sponsored by Prometheus Reborn Universal Foundation, also known as Proof. Its mission is to spread the trivalent understanding noetics, featuring stand-up philosophy that includes anthropology, psychology, biology, metaphysics, medicine, psychodrama, comedy, and music through a genre called edutainment, educating while entertaining, coined by KRS-One. The host of this wonderful show is Dr. Kwaku L. Carlisle Woods, RN, MD, MED-D1, and myself, co-host, Dr. Hamida Rockman Woods, MED, PhD, MED-D2. Shay. I have the PH.
And I have the M.
We both have D's. That makes us Doc². The title of today's show is What is the Blessing?
Oh, yes. And we have quite a show today. We have a dual show today. We're going to be talking about two major topics, and we're going to be doing that in two primary ways. But first and foremost, the Hip Hop Trio Plus. Oh, my goodness. Hostage is coming. That's all I got to say about that. I'm not going to say any more. Y'all can't make me. What is the blessing?
Yes.
Sound like a song, man.
It does, doesn't it? It does. What is the blessing? Now, from listening to my man Steve Harvey down in South Africa, blessings are given by a blesser. A blesser is somebody who generally takes a young lady and gives her all the things that she wants in return for a whole lot of herself. But what are Americans blessed with? One of the questions. And the answer, at least on one level, is money. We got probably more than any other country on this planet does, and we spend it just like that. But that's money for what? What are we spending our money on? I got some statistics down here that says when the United States citizens were asked if the United States spends too much, 60% of the citizens say, yeah, we spend too much. It's an AP poll. But when you take that apart, and ask about specific items the government is responsible for, the majority of citizens say that the government spends too little. On education, 65% of citizens say we spend too little on education. 63% of the citizens say we spend too little on health care. 62% say we spend too little on Social Security. 62% also say we spend too little on infrastructure. 59% say we spend too little on assistance to the poor, and my last figure says that 58% say that we spend too little on Medicare. Unfortunately, those are the statistics. Why are those statistics important? Well, one of the major reasons why those statistics are important is that 4 times as many people were lost to suicide and depression as lost in Afghanistan and Iraq put together.
Wow.
When we spend more than 10 times on the military as we do on health, education, and prevention of disease.
And I want to say greetings, Carla. I'm glad you joined us. You
Thanks,
and the
Carla!
family. Yes.
Yeah, we're a little late. I apologize, but we had some out-of-town guests that came in. Lonsky! And he's upstairs eating now. Now, that's concept number 1. I would now like to introduce concept number 2. And concept number 2, believe it or not, is in 2 pieces. It's a concept and a book. The concept is an image I would like you to create, and the book is called an edutainment novel because it teaches you, Y-O-U. That stands for, of course, your own understanding. This is not anything that is taught just about any place in this country and very, very, very few places on this planet. Okay. We are introducing this through an adventure story written for American audiences. So it's got sex and violence in it. Although none of the sex or any of the violence is gratuitous. It all has a meaning, a message, and a purpose in this edutainment novel that teaches you your own understanding. It teaches you how you function. It teaches you how your spirit, mind, and body coordinate your abilities, but more importantly, it also teaches you some, at least gives you some insights into some tools that will allow your spirit, mind, and body to function much more harmoniously. And when you get to that point of functioning, you are called a meta-human, M-E-T-T-A-H. You are much, much more than an ordinary human being. You're as much more than an ordinary human being as an ordinary human being is from a caveman.
I see.
For the exact same reasons. A caveman has very little understanding about the coordination and functioning of his being, his reality. A meta-human has that much more understanding and ability than a regular, normal American. Okay. Now, we're going to get you to the book, away from the concept. And, fortunately, the book and the concept have the same name. And that's The Blessings of Slavery. First, the concept that being enslaved can be a blessing is unique.
Yes.
And not just being enslaved, but having your very humanity stripped from you and your children. That is, if any of them come from an enslaved female, for the particular slavery practiced in the United States turned enslaved females into slave factories. Okay, now we're starting to have a visualization of the specific form of slavery under discussion. Let's get to the blessings part. How about that? For that, I must ask you two very leading questions.
Yes.
Question number one. Do you believe in a higher power, a supreme being? Do you have that sort of understanding? Now, if you answer to this question yes, I got question number two for you. If you ask that higher power for an ability or a trait, say courage, would your higher power simply just give you that? Or would that higher power place you in conditions or circumstances so that your trait or ability can be developed, sharpened, or explored? Think about that. Would your higher power, be his name God, Allah, Jah, Jehovah, Yahweh, whatever his name is, if you asked him for an ability, would that higher power simply give you that ability? Or would that higher power place you in a position to develop or hone that ability or trait? We've asked this to thousands of people, and almost universally, the answer is number two. Okay. Now, the concept and the book, The Blessings of Slavery, are available for you to view. The Blessings of Slavery, an edutainment, it's supposed to say edutainment, not educational novel, but we're already going to change that, by Y.O.U, L.C. Woods, R.N.M.D., M.D. Okay. Now, the concept of slavery involves loss of humanity, which led our ancestors to be the most humanistic people on the planet. I'm going to use an old military expression just for shits and giggles. let's take a closer look at humanism, which is defined by Wikipedia as a philosophical stance that emphasizes the individual and social potential and agency of human beings who it considers the starting point for any serious moral and philosophical inquiry. Now, humanism is a philosophical standard that values human interest, dignity, and potential, and that relies on critical thinking and rationality without theism or supernatural beliefs. It is also associated with studies of the humanities, the revival of classical culture, and the secular spirit of the Renaissance. Okay, translated. The individual and their social potential, along with the uses of that individual and potential, are everything. That is humanism. It's about the humanity of the individual in association with other individuals of the same humanity. And it dwells on those types of topics that were alluded to in the previous slide. How is that a blessing, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I'm going to tell you. That was a blessing because being enslaved made our ancestors think. It made them think about freedom. It made them think about liberty. It made them think about their future. And not just their future, but the future of their children, grandchildren, other descendants. And in that relationship, that thinking had all of our ancestors focus on something that is called education. Now, it's not so much the training that we endure here in the United States as what is called the public education that we get. No, it's not an education. Go to TED Talks. Sir Kenneth Robinson, Start the Educational Revolution, to see a greater detail definition of the differences between training and education. What we are now involved in and have been involved in since the beginning of public, quote, education is really actually training. We have been in training to go to work for a company or institution. That training teaches you language, English, teaches you how to communicate. It teaches you math, and it teaches you how to follow directions. That's the, quote, public education that we teach. It is not education at all. To be educated, you must be taught you. What are you? Who are you? Where are you? And of course, when are you? So that you can discover why are you.
Yes.
That is education. And we have none of that.
Right.
But this made our ancestors think about that very, very same thing. And that led to thinking about control. Now, our ancestors thought about this a lot, but more than just think about control, they had to practice some control that no other human beings have ever had to develop. They had to learn control of their emotions. They had to learn control of their actions.
Yes.
They even had to learn control of their thoughts, not to mention facial expressions, body positions, and anything else. Because if they were not in control of any of those things, they could be beat, punished, starved, or killed.
Yes.
Think about that. This is what our ancestors went through to develop the abilities that they passed on to us. We are constantly thinking about those things. Controlling your emotions, controlling your thoughts, controlling your expressions, controlling all of your being is a characteristic that all of us have had to learn. And tell me you wouldn't be smacked with a backhand lick unless you control what you said, what you thought, what you did, and what you expressed at home. It made our ancestors believe/feel in lots of different unique ways. They started to believe religion, and unfortunately it was a Christianity that pink people had talked to them about. But they also believed and started to feel spiritual urges, images. Spirituality, again, your spirit does three things. Your spirit enables, your spirit protects, and your spirit visualizes or imagines. Whenever you close your eyes and visualize something, that is not your mind or your body. That is your spirit. Your spirit's job is to produce images for your mind to think about, consider, measure, and evaluate. That's how human beings function. You never been told that, have you? Yeah, because the people who were training you never understood that. The people who have been teachers, principals, administrators in our school have never been taught their own humanity. Our ancestors thought about this stuff, primarily due to the influences of chattel slavery on them. We also thought about and believed in the effects and the benefit of education. Education was useful in every aspect of our life. It was also especially helpful in work. And our ancestors really got into work. Oh my God. If you didn't have 2-3 jobs, you're lazy, man. You're a lazy boy. Why? Why you lie? You got only 2 jobs? You'd have 3, 4. Everybody had a job. When I grew up, everybody had a job, and everybody had at least 1, maybe 2 or 3 hustles. Come on now. We all know this. We were trained that this was necessary for maintenance, substance, pride, place, and prestige. And we also found out that the best work helped others. That's why the works that were the highest value to our parents and all of our ancestors was being a teacher, being a doctor, being a nurse, being a farmer, or a builder in construction, or if everything else failed, be a preacher. Those are the jobs, those are the works that we placed in the highest categories of use to our lives and to humanity. These are the concepts and actions enforced on our ancestors by the mechanisms of chattel slavery imposed by the United States of America. And what they created were a people tied to freedom, liberty, education, and helping others. These characteristics are known and appreciated by freedom fighters in Alkebulanese. Again, just for the new initiated folks, there is no place called Africa. Africa was the name given by the continent that the Romans won through the Second Punic War against Carthage. And the winning general, his name was Scipio Africanus. So they named the whole continent after him. The ancestors who lived there called that place Alkebulan. You are not African American. You are of Alkebulanese ancestry. Okay. All of the freedom fighters in Alkebulan used our country's struggles as their launching ground. Oh, Tai, what's up, Tai? Ah, hone your skills. You right, girl. Hey, look, she say, I'm so funny. I am, well, I guess maybe. I don't know.
Well,
that's for y'all
part of the
say.
drama.
Yes, indeed. Excuse me. Or don't. I don't care. I'm going to do me, because that's what God told me to do. South Africa. Nelson Mandela. When he was released primarily through the agency of Alkebulanese right here. guy by the name of Randall Robinson was especially instrumental in his being released and putting pressure on South Africa, not buying their gold, not buying their Kruger Ranch, not doing any of the things that they were used to producing finances from. But not just there. When I went to Southeast Asia, I was talked to by freedom fighters in the Philippines, Vietnam, Korea, Cambodia. One of the worst things that could happen to a United States Alkebulanese soldier is on the battlefield having these loudspeakers asking you, why are you over here trying to enslave another Alkebulanese people when you ain't free at home? We done never called you, quoting Muhammad Ali, ain't no Vietnamese ever called me nigga. Ain't no Vietnamese ever lynched me or raped my mama. That's pink people.
Yeah.
That's what pink folks do. But these people all over the world were using the struggles of our ancestors as their linchpin for freedom, liberty, justice. All of these humanistic characteristics and properties were things that were bestowed on us by the struggles, the combat, and the deaths of our ancestors. And they're used as guides to the struggles of all people on this planet. Juneteenth, which is going to be in another, 12 days? Every year on June 19th, long before America gave the date national recognition, our culture gave it appreciation and gratitude. We have been celebrating this celebration of freedom for now going on centuries. And the government of the United States just started it year before last, right?
Right, made it a legal holiday, right?
Year before last.
Right.
We didn't need it. We didn't need that. Culturally, our ancestors put that appreciation in us, around us, through us.
Many of us didn't know anything about Juneteenth. I learned about it when I moved to Dallas. I was about 30 then, 30 years old, and they celebrated in the South, but not in the North.
Yes and no.
Okay.
They celebrated it, believe it or not, now, because everybody knows I'm from St. Louis.
Yeah.
They celebrated it in the Lou.
That's South.
Hold on. They celebrated it in the Lou, and as you started going north, its celebration dropped off. So by the time you got to Chicago, maybe 15, 20% of the people there were celebrating it.
Yeah, okay.
But our own story here led to all of us being told that we would have to be twice as smart, 3 times as productive to get half the pay of white folks.
Yeah.
But let's look briefly at what that accomplished. 1619, our first ancestors got here. And the country takes off. Areas full of malaria and other tropical diseases are now available for cultivation. Prior to that time, pink people and Native Americans were succumbing to a lot of tropical diseases. Our ancestors did not have those weaknesses. And we worked just fine in those areas that are now called the Deep South. Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Louisiana, you know the places, Florida. Production increased tremendously as the cost of production dropped lower and lower. Taxes on enslaved people. Our ancestors were taxed, and the taxes that pink people had to pay for owning our ancestors paid for local taxes, they paid for the state taxes, and they paid for the national government. Without our ancestors being here as a tax basis, the United States of America would never have been maintained, enlarged, productive as it was. Period. And a good deal of that production was spent on keeping our ancestors enslaved, ignorant, and fearful. Again, you could cuss a white man out, you get beat. You can refuse to work and they would starve you. But if you ever learned to read, you were killed.
Yes.
Because ignorance was one of the major ways that they kept you enslaved.
Yes.
And this, believe it or not, had nothing to do with race. Let me say that again, because I don't believe you heard me. This keeping our ancestors ignorant, enslaved, and fearful had nothing to do with race. Because Western Europe did the same thing to Western Europeans for centuries before they ever got to the Americas. But it was especially needed in our ancestors' case for all of the lies that they had used to procure them and to keep them here as the resource they became. Most of the land that was cleared, our ancestors did it.
Yeah.
Most of the houses that were built, our ancestors did it. Most of the crops were tilled, planted, harvested, and prepared for shipment by our ancestors. And what did it cost? Nothing. Most of the roads built and maintained, again, by our ancestors. And what was the cost? Zero. Didn't cost anything. It paid. So yes, nobody wanted to stop slavery. And then a word to the side right now. A word about secondary or second generation thinking. This is something that almost nobody appreciates because everybody you know does it. Second generation thinking is the thinking that must happen if there is an obstacle to what you consider to be necessary. If you were pink, all you had to have is a desire or a need, and that led directly to actions to gratify that desire or need. You were hungry, you went and got some food. If you were cold, you went and got some clothes. If you were whatever, you went and took care of that. That was direct thinking. And it's the thinking that pink males, especially, have more than anybody else. Pink females think better than that. They think more diversely than that. Pink males think straight, direct line. Our ancestors could not do that. Any need, want, desire was immediately followed by consideration of the obstacles, the blocks, and the barriers that pink people were going to put up to you satisfying that need or desire. Our ancestors had to think, okay, I want to do so forth and so on. And they're going to put up, they're going to say, no, you don't need it. No, you're going to do it. No, they're going to say all these different other things. And I'm going to have to come up with some reasons why it benefits them that I get this thing for me. I'm going to have to come up with a reason to go around these obstacles that are going to prevent me from satisfying this need. Our ancestors had to not just learn to do that, you had to be able to do that to survive. Because if you couldn't do that, many of the things you need and require to survive, you didn't get. And if you didn't get it, not only did you not survive, you didn't have no children. And your descendants never occurred. Right now, every Alkebulanese in America has second generation thinking. Because we all think about the barriers to what we want. We think about the obstructions to what we need. We consider the blocks to every desire we have. And we consider ways to go around them, ways to go under them, ways to explode them. We think of these things because that is what our ancestors passed down to us. Now, I want you to consider the direct method of you have a need or desire and you go straight to the solution. The second generation method, where you have a need or desire and you have to consider the ways around obstacles or blocks to satisfying that need or desire. Which of these two methods would be best to solve problems? Which of these two methods of thinking would be best in a leader? Which of these two methods of thinking would be best for humanity to use? Direct, need, desire, or thinking around problems, obstacles, and barriers to what you want? Imagine that. We were generally not allowed to think too highly of ourselves, but humanity would be totally different without the ego and self-satisfaction that makes life livable. So our ancestors developed ways to be different, unusual, flashy, ha ha ha, removing the everyday from ordinary and turning the smallest aspect of life into artistry. Our ancestors became artists, and how they dressed, how they walked. Come on now. Yeah. How they talk, how they work, especially how they cook. Come on now, y'all. Them Southern kitchens did stuff that nobody else can do. And what we're looking at right there is Motown. That's Diana Ross in the center. I see Stevie off to the side. There's the Supremes right on either side of Diana Ross. Yeah. Temptations over on the left. The Miracles Dead in the center. No, Miracles on the right, because I see Smokey. He's fourth from the right.
Yeah, Temptations in the middle.
Temptations
right.
Dead in the center. There's yeah. There's most definitely and assuredly. These were the people who turned singing and dancing to artistry. Our ancestors became artists in everything from cutting hair to cutting songs. And we're still right now the leading forces in art, music, drama, and fashion. In each area, we include some of our own individual being as well as our social responsibility, because no matter what the artist pays the price. Now, believe it or not, we got a song for you. The Hip Hop Trio Plus is going to do a song. We didn't write it. I think a guy by the name of Marvin Gaye did. But we do it a little bit different. We do it a cappella, and it's called, appropriately, The Artist Pays the Price. Listen to this.
The artist pays a price, so you don't have to pay. If only you would listen to what he has to say. There are songs from wisdom, there are songs from hating, there are songs from loving, and there are songs from Satan. There are songs from lust, there are songs from pain. Some songs are done by children men, some are men insane. Move to one time. Move children to the right side. Advance children to the light. We're looking good. Oh, advance children to the light. Some songs will show you which way to go. If only you would listen.
Listen up.
There are songs will turn you on, show you how much is missing. Songs we're meant to listen to, be checking out the best. Good songs were sent to man from God to help us pass the test. Life is for learning, and the purpose is joining up with the Lord. 1,000 bodies needed, but your soul is never destroyed. Your love, darling, this is all you require. And all he wants is a little understanding today. Something strong can prophesy, warning from the master. Make your soul listen to him, to make your learning faster. The devil has a special plan to make hot songs for sinners. Then God will turn it around, make good songs for winners. Hey, you know some songs can corrupt your flesh to dust. The only song that you can live are songs that you can trust. The artist pays a price. So you don't have to.
Indeed, the artist pays the price. And one of the prices paid for our ancestors' blessing was and is being paid for
Yes.
right now
Yes.
by pink people.
Yes.
Pink people lied to themselves and their children. And their children are having to deal with those lies right now. Their children are the smartest human beings that have ever existed because they have all the world's knowledge in their cell phone. And they are questioning most of what their parents and ancestral legacy is. Ron DeSantis, right now down in Florida, don't want their children to understand their own history. Don't want them to understand slavery. Don't want them to understand ignorance. Don't want them to understand stupidity. Don't want them to understand any of the things he wants to inflict on them. And right now, Generation Z, the worst thing they could be is their parents. None of them want to be their parents. Pink paranoia is the result. And Ron DeSantis, line 44.5, and most of the far-right people are subconsciously dealing with what they feel is the natural result of the oppression we have faced. They believe that reversing that oppression will lead to them being oppressed, will lead to them being enslaved, will lead to them being retribution for what their ancestors did to our ancestors.
That's the issue.
That is the issue. Problem is twofold. Number one, we ain't them. We are a new breed of humanity called hybrids.
Never been on it.
And Generation Z is what we call the unum. This country was established by a motto, e pluribus unum. From many, one. From many people, from many countries, from many races, from many nations. One. One is supposed to be, and that one is supposed to be is American. That American will not be pink. When you mix pink with anything else, what comes out is the anything else. Pink goes away. And pink people's birth rate has been diving for the last, 3 or 4 decades. And it's continuing to occur no matter what they try to do. But far worse than what pink paranoia brings is the scales that must be balanced between them and the Most High God. Mm-hmm. The Most High created humanity. After his own kind and in his likeness created he them. This is from the Bible, Genesis.
Oh, okay.
What he used to make mankind? Dirt. You ever seen any pink dirt?
Nope.
You ever seen any white dirt?
Nope.
Especially in Alkebulan, where God created man. This is again in the book that they tried to get us to believe, called the Bible. The Garden of Eden was in Alkebulan, and the people that he created were Alkebulanese. Think about that. Imagine what God must feel from his first people being considered not human. The first beings that he created, the first of mankind that God made, was called by pink people not human. And you don't think that pissed off the Most High? I don't know, I ain't him. / her.
Thank you. He fixed it, y'all. He fixed it.
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say something.
Come on, say something.
No, you fixed it.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mickey, you own it. You own it.
Now, I never like to give any show without giving a solution to any problem I bring up. And the solution for pink people is for me to teach pink people the trivalent understanding noetics. My job, my reason, my purpose, my why for me existing is to teach pink people the trivalent understanding noetics so that pink people can teach this to the rest of humanity. If pink people learn the trivalent understanding noetics and teach it to the rest of humanity, their reason for being, their why, and their purpose will not only be fulfilled, bless you, baby, but it will allow them to get rid of their pink paranoia. Bless you again. Your allergies? Okay. All righty. Okay.
Wow. She'll be all right.
She'll be all right. This is her allergies going on. Okay, but let's spend our monies, all this finances that the United States have, on doing that, on teaching pink people the trivalent understanding noetics. Getting them in tune will allow humanity to become meta. And as everybody knows, meta is better. Okay. Let me know what you think. Text us, email us.
You can message us on Facebook.
Message us on Facebook, YouTube, wherever.
YouTube. Matter of fact, I got the information on the screen right now.
Do it.
Y'all can call in anybody right now. Hey, you know what I want to say?
What you say?
Now, we got a special guest really in the house. Really.
Okay. Okay. Is his name Lonsky?
His name happens to be Lonsky.
Lonsky!
Lonsky is in the building, man.
Come on, Lonsky, say something to the people, man.
Hello. I'm shy, shit.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm sorry, I can't curse.
He just chilling. He ain't dressed for the occasion.
He ain't dressed for it. Okay. Lonsky is a family member, y'all. He actually lives in Chicago sometimes. Sometimes he lives other places.
In Atlanta right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He's a family member. He's all over
Back
the place.
enjoying the show. Lonsky, how you feel, man? You
What
in
you thinking,
Cleveland?
man?
I just picked him up from the airport.
I feel great. Feeling great. Especially being around family.
Hot dog. That is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
I want to add to what you were saying about solutions.
Okay.
What our guests can do, our guests and our audience can do, is in the comment section, put what a blessing of slavery that you feel that you want to share
Right.
from your
okay,
own
yeah.
understanding. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Move, baby.
So,
That's my wife, see, y'all. I
So-
love her.
the blessings of slavery.
Okay.
Lonsky, what could you see as some of the blessings
From your
of
ancestors.
slavery?
Uh-huh.
Whatever way you see it, what comes to mind when you hear that term title?
Stuff that came because of slavery. Pretty much. Lemonade, maybe.
Ah! When somebody gives you lemons, you make lemonade.
That's right.
And that's what we're sipping on, lemonade.
We got it right here.
Ah.
Okay. Now, last but not least, I have a fable for you. This is a fable introduced to us by Ed Damascus.
Yes.
Ed Damascus is from the Anderson Window Company, and he came over to our house this past week to evaluate our home for some renovations we were considering. Ed was a wonderful person, loved Doc², and he just so happened to be there when the Hip Hop Trio showed up for rehearsal, and he heard us do, strangely enough, the same song we just got
Yeah,
to doing
he
today.
did.
The
He said
artist
that.
made surprise.
Yeah, he appreciated. He said that it was heavenly.
Yes. But Ed gave us a
Wow.
story from his father. He said his father told him his story when he was a young man, and I want to give the same story to you. The fable of the fence. Young man had just graduated from high school. He had went to a little trade school and came out of that. His family was into farming, but he wanted to do something a little bit different. So he was sitting out considering one day. He was walking around outside and he was considering, should I do what I want to do? What feels good to my ego, which is something that makes me feel better? Or should I do what God wants me to do? What would be best for all humanity? What would be something that would enable my community and my culture? He's sitting there thinking about which way to go, and suddenly Satan comes up. And Satan says, all right, here, you heaven or hell. And he says, well, wait a minute, hold on. I haven't decided yet. I'm sitting on the fence. And Satan said, aha! Yes, the fence is mine. Anybody on the fence belongs to me. That's the story. Moral of the story. Make a damn decision about your life and your living. If you do not do so, you belong to Satan.
Yeah.
You are the problem.
Yep.
If you make no decision, you do not influence your living beneficially
Yeah.
at all.
You're still sitting on the fence.
Keep doing what pink people have trained you to do, and you're heading to hell.
Yeah.
Sit in the middle between what they say and what the Most High says, you're going to hell.
And hell is that wide path of death and destruction. All that negativity that you just cannot seem to get away from.
Absolutely. I heard we had a caller who had a question. Do we have a caller? Ladies and gentlemen, caller.
Hey, dog, how you doing, man?
I'm doing excellent, thank the Lord.
Yeah,
Oh,
this Lloyd down here
that's
making joy for
Lloyd.
Lloyd's Farmers down here.
Yeah, what's
Yeah,
up, Lloyd? Yeah,
Sweet brother Numpsy.
that's right.
Numpty.
Sweet brother Numpsy.
Yes,
Numpsy
indeed.
or
Hey,
Numpsy?
Doc. Hey,
Numpsy.
Yes, sir.
Numpsy.
hey, Doc, I've been waiting to chime in. I was trying to get you on the conversation. I said, boy, when he say something that I can chime in on, I'm going to hit him on the phone. You hear
Come
me?
on in. Come on in. Chime in, my brother. What's up?
Hey, Doc, when you were talking about how the people trying to eliminate black history and everything.
Yes,
You remember
sir.
you saying something about that?
Yes, sir.
Now, you know when you get a white woman and a black man, or you get a black man and a white woman together, you have them pretty children. You know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
talking about?
Oh, they're the prettiest things on this planet.
Now, you got these pretty children. Ain't no more nappy-headed children. You know how black people be nappy.
No. We different now.
Well, that nappy head is good. It's good.
Well,
yeah.
again, my brother, our ancestors came from Alkebulan. They were Alkebulanese. We are not. We are hybrids. We are mixtures of all of the races on this earth. My wife and I have got our DNA done. We're both 11% Irish.
Right.
She's got some Native American and some Asian.
Southern.
I got the oldest DNA on the planet. 11% of me is called hunter-gatherer DNA. Before there was any countries, before there was any national boundaries, the first human beings were simply called hunter-gatherers. And 11% of that is me. Again, E pluribus unum. That's the motto from the United States of America when it was first formed. From many, one. And that one is going to be the mixture that we all are.
Yeah.
We are the mixture of Western Europe, Alkebulan, and South America, Asia, all of that is us.
And it's the melanin that gives us that nappy hair. So that nappy hair that we share with them, it allows them to have curly hair.
Yes.
So they wouldn't have that curly hair if it wasn't for our melanin. So yes.
So in other words, we just a watered down African American niggas, ain't we?
Yes, sir, but more than that. Again, pink people introduced us to something called Christianity. What they did not understand was that Christianity was Alkebulanese. The people in the book called the Bible that they tried to get us to memorize were all Alkebulanese. They all looked like me and you. There were no Europeans in the Bible except the Romans who killed Yeshua ben Joseph. What they also did not understand was that this religion was not only Alkebulanese, it talked about God's purpose for mankind being one of creating hybrids. I don't know much about God, but I can tell you three things about God without any fear of contradiction or error. Number one, I'm not him/her.
Yes.
I know that for a fact. Number two, God is a scientist. I know this because all of the principles that operate this universe, this reality, this planet, this everything are scientific principles. I can even tell you what type of scientist God is. God is a geneticist. How do I know that? Because the first thing that God did once he brought himself down here and created this place was start blending different races. And the sons of God came into the daughters of man, and each found among him for a wife, one that was fair. And from that union, giants were born, the Nephilim. God started hybridizing human beings as soon as he got here. And that has always been an aim of the Most High, to create us, to create a super hybrid that is hybridized all of the different races of mankind. That's us. We are, at least to some degree, the end result of God's aims. And pink people don't want us to understand that. If we understood science, we would understand that. If we understood history, we would understand that. If we understood biology, we would understand that. If we understood genetics, we would understand that. If we understood anthropology, we would understand that. That's why pink people's main desire, main aim is to keep everybody ignorant of those things. As long as you are ignorant, you don't realize all the lies they've been saying. Now, we got another call?
Yes.
Well, we can wait. Brother Lewis, did that answer your call?
Does that answer your question, my brother?
Did you have another question? Because you get two.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, y'all been helpful. Y'all know I got some more pondering to do.
Well, thank you. Thank
you
you
so
so
much, my
much
brother.
for sharing your time with us.
Absolutely. I am so blessed.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Brother.
Thank y'all.
All right, man.
May the Lord bless you and the ancestors continue to protect you, dear
Continue to
brother.
protect you.
What's up? Another caller.
We got another caller? Who's the other caller?
This is OG Shankster.
Oh my God.
Greetings, OG.
Now, hold on. I was talking to McKinley Tate III about you 20 minutes ago, a half hour ago. And I was telling him, I got love for my brother OG Shankster, but he's screwing over.
I got love for you too, Doc.
Uh-huh.
I do.
Uh-huh. Wait a minute. Let me look at the camera.
I wouldn't trade y'all for nothing in the world. Shut up, Doc.
Okay. Now, you got a question, my brother?
I want to say this before y'all go continue. You were reading each other's images, and family do that.
True.
You can tell what the other one is saying without
True.
them saying anything.
True.
That's right.
Okay. You got a question, my
I was
brother? You're
listening to
entitled
the show. I was talking about I was listening to the show and the part about going to hell.
Yes.
Is it a real hell, or is it just a theory that people say hell is like a fire and brimstones, or is it hell on earth?
Okay, hold on one
Good
second.
question.
Excellent question. Okay. All of them. Now, the Most High told me to tell you. Yes, there is a hell, but it's not the ones that Christianity has talked about and gave descriptions of. No, that's not hell. Most people do not understand that I died. OG knows. I died.
I do.
Yeah, I was blown up by a rocket-propelled grenade, and if it hadn't been for John Kalama, crazy Hawaiian, who actually shot a corpsman in the leg and made him take me out the body bag and resuscitate me, I might have stayed dead. It was about 2 months later in Japan when I remembered what happened when I died. When I died, I went toward the light, toward the circle, in the middle of the circle. I went to the light, leaned to the light, and went into another reality. In that spiritual reality, instantly your spirit is given images of your whole existence. People say, my life flashed in front of me. That's what happens when you go to what the Akan call a Y.O.U. Your life from its inception, and I mean before you were actually born, when you were in your mom's womb growing, it starts there. And it quickly goes through all of your living in this reality. And you see every opportunity you had to enable yourself or others. You saw every time when you were given a choice, left or right, don't sit on the damn fence. You were shown all of these opportunities that your life was filled with. And you feel appreciation and happiness for the opportunities that you took to enable yourself or others, but you feel depressed, you feel disappointed, you feel a self-anger whenever one of those circumstances come up when you didn't do what was obvious, something that would enable you and others. And now in Y.O.U, what is obvious is like that. It's crystal clear. There's no questions. You know and understand damn near everything because you are back into God's realm. Now, whether you did most of the good things or most of the enabling things, most of the helpful things, or whether you did most of the disabling things, most of the unhelpful things, or you sat on the damn fence.
And what did you learn?
It's a whole nother story. We're going to go into that at some other point. But at that point in Y.O.U, you are stuck with the life you have lived and its implications. The implications of the life you have lived will stay with you until you are reborn again. And that may be 20 minutes. That may be 25 centuries. Because one of the major differences between this reality and that reality is that time is in this reality. Time does not exist in Y.O.U.
Wow.
So yes, there is a hell. It's a personal hell. It's an internal suffering from all the opportunities that you were given and you refuse to take.
Wow.
Does that answer your question, my brother?
Absolutely. So I get another question, right?
Yes, you do.
And I got a request. Can I give my request first?
Yes, please.
I absolutely love the song that we did African style called Y.O.U.
Y.O.U, okay.
I would love to hear that song on this show.
Okay.
That's my request.
All right, that's your request.
The other question is,
okay.
The other question is, do we get a second chance to come back in what they call reincarnation? Mm-hmm. If we don't successfully do what we're supposed to do in this existence, do he bring us back to do it until we do it?
That's kind of what he was leading to.
Okay, hey, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like that's where you was going all the time. Okay.
Right.
Let me give you the Akan's definition of what that entails. In order to be born again, in order to come back into this reality, you have to find a reason. You have to find something that you are going to do, something that you're going to fix, something that you're going to repair, something that you're going to assist in being. And it must be something that is in your family line. The Akan call your mother's family your Sun Sum. And your Sun Sum, S-U-N-S-U-M, Sun Sum. Your Sun Sum is your purpose. Whatever your mother's families were about, that is what your purpose is about. My mother's families were educators. The first high school west of the Mississippi was Sumner High School in St. Louis, Missouri. My great aunt, Josie, was the principal of Sumner High School at one point. That's the Roan family. Josie Roan, my great aunt, was into education, as was my grandmother, her sister. That is my Sun Sum, education. I am here to educate people. And I have been educating people since I was born. As a 5-year-old, I got a 4-year-old brother. I got a 3-year-old, no, I got a 2.5-year-old sister, Kathy. And I got a 6-month-old sister, Karen. In addition to my nephews, Andre, Tootie, Russell, Robert. So these are all younger children in my family that I taught. And every day, when everybody would get home from school or daycare, every member of my family that was younger than me would come on my front porch, and they would all sit on the 2 big stone steps, and I would teach them what I had learned that day. Or I would teach them about something that we had had a class on before. This was basically music, medicine, martial arts. I've been in music since I was 8. But I've been singing and playing since I was born. I've been into science and healthcare, most of my existence. My mother was a nurse. My grandfather, my mother's father, was an herbalist. We called him a root doctor in those days, but people would come to see Papa from the Caribbean, from Alkebulanese, from South America, to get his herbs and his concoctions. And according to most of the members of my family, I am a spitting image of my mother's father. They say we are just about twins.
Okay.
That's my soon. So I came here to do that purpose. That's the only reason I got a chance to be reborn. And I just want to let everybody know this is my last go round. I will not be reborn or reincarnated after this. I will be taken into the form of the Most High.
11th dimension.
I'm going to be a different type of being when I leave here this time. Now, last but not least, when I did die, all this stuff was explained to me. Because when I did die and went to a W.O.U, it is such a nice place. Think of the best nut you have ever had having sex. Now, don't think about the nut.
Yeah.
Think about the way you felt
Don't think about
after
the
the
nut.
nut. That,
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Woo! That's what a W.O.U feels like. It is full of light everywhere. It is a warmth that comes from everywhere and that you are warmed by everywhere.
Hey,
It's
so,
the best.
so
Hold on one second, because I need to tell you the reason I brought this back up.
okay.
I am being told by this being through telepathy, because you don't speak in a W.O.U. You don't have a tongue, teeth, throat, or lungs. So the physical aspects of communications are gone. You simply envision images, and you project those images to someone else. And they are projecting these images to me that I'm not supposed to be there. And they're projecting to me all the stuff that my purpose was about. I'm supposed to be doing this. I'm supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be responsible for that. I'm supposed to be... Now, I'm fighting like a mother because I don't want to come back down to this place. Nobody wants to come back down here once you've been to a war.
Wow.
I am smacking folks. I'm kicking folks. I'm punching folks as they are sending me back down to reality, to this earth, so that I can finish
Come on,
my
Doc, you ain't had
my
no
life.
limbs. How you smacking and punching folks?
Oh, well, believe me, I was on it. I was definitely trying.
He had images.
I have been studying martial arts since I was what? About 9. I started taking jujitsu at 12. I went to karate
You was
and
tearing people up.
oh, I was trying, but all the while they were pushing me back toward away from the light.
Wow.
And the light you saw fading into distance as you left a W.O.U and you came back down to this reality.
Almost like being born, like a baby being born.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
It is. That's a great analogy, because that is basically what being born feels like too. You leave a W.O.U and you come to this reality. You leave this warm place of light and wonderful feeling to this place of darkness, coldness, fear, all these different things that are necessary for us to go through in order to learn the principles that we will need to function in a war. Now, my brothers, does that answer your question?
Absolutely, Doc.
Okay.
And I want to say we have played a W.O. In fact, last time we had our
That's what I
show,
was gonna
we
say.
played a
Okay.
W.O. But we play that quite a bit on the
I
show.
like her. I play it all the time. I play it for a lot of folks all the time.
Yes,
Yes.
beautiful song.
Okay, Mick, can we play a woo for this young brother here?
Okay, we'll end it with a wool, but OG, guess what, man?
Yeah.
We got a special guest in the house. We got Lonsky up in here.
Lonsky,
sir.
what's up?
What's up? What's going on, G?
Wow.
What's going on, Lonsky?
So I'm cooling, man. Over here, I'm on Northeasterner again.
You're Northeasterner again. All right. You're here from Atlanta, Georgia.
All
Let's
right.
go.
Just picked him up from the airport, man, fresh on the scene.
I got to come over there. I got to come over there and kick it with y'all. Actually, man, I got to come through there, man.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you do.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you
Hey, we got another caller. OG, you can stay on too, but we got another caller. Caller, who are you?
Hi, this is Shelly K.
Hey,
Shelly
Shelly.
K!
Shelly
Shelly
K.
K.
The Kindles are in the house. That's Shelly.
Hello.
That's my girl. I love
Lonsky
her.
says hello. My cousin is in the house. He says hello.
Hello.
All right. Shelly
Hey,
K.
OG Sexton says hello, Shelly K.
Aw.
Hey, OG. Hey.
What's up? What's up?
One of the original
Miss you,
members
man.
of the Hip Hop Trio. You have a question, Shelly?
Yes, my question is based off of OG's question.
Okay.
When you mentioned being in the, I heard Mick say the 11th realm.
Dimension. 11
How
dimension.
do you dimension? I said dimension in my spirit, but I said realm for whatever. Anyway, about being in the 11th dimension, though, how do you achieve that? How do you get there?
Okay. Good question. But Shelly, you always have great questions. Okay.
Madase.
Let me take everybody through their own reality. Every human being is made up of 5 different levels of functioning. You're made up of cells. You control those cells. Those cells form tissues. You control those tissues. Those tissues form organs. You control those organs. Those organs form organ systems. You control those systems. All those organ systems combine to create an organelle. That is you, also called an organism. Yes. We control all 5 levels of that being. Now, if you get above those 5 physical levels to control your emotional state, your spiritual state, and your post-physical state, you are now in a W.O. That's 8. Okay? In a W.O., you're going to have a responsibility or a job. Doing that job or responsibility well allows you to be placed in charge of that specific principle or ability. Electricity functions here. There are beings in a world that cause electricity to function here. Gravity functions here. There are beings in a world that cause gravity to function here. Light functions here. Sound functions here. Everything that functions in this reality is powered and engineered by a being in a world who is responsible for that particular energy. Once you have done all of that, that's 10th level. To get to the level above that, you're in control of a reality. When you are in control of a reality, You are the God of that reality. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
Hey, I
Yes,
want
it
to.
does.
Hey, I want to add to that, Doc.
Come on.
This, I'm going to suggest that those 8 levels that you said at 1st, then you control your reality.
Yes.
That next level may be, we're in the 3rd dimension. Maybe that's 4th dimension, and then there's other levels all the way up to that, all the way up to the 11th dimension.
Yes or no?
Go ahead.
4th dimension is time.
Okay.
We have height, width, depth. That's 3 dimensions. Time is a 4th.
Gotcha.
We have to
5th.
come to this reality in order to deal with time. I've been here 73 years. That's a long time
It's a blessing.
to be dealing with the limitations and the pain, discomfort.
Oh, we're gonna have to ask you all to turn your mics off or
Turn the volume down.
Volume
on
down.
them.
Wind or
Okay.
something. Somebody
Yeah.
moving. But go
some.
ahead.
Okay.
Yeah,
Time,
just hang your phone up and listen.
time is the element of this reality that makes living here necessary. In order to learn, in order for a human being to learn, not just understand, you have to practice an understanding until it becomes part of you. First, you have the understanding. This is an intellectual concept that you frame and picture in your spirit. ABCs. In order to learn your ABCs, you first understood that these symbols stood for sounds. And you practiced those symbols and those sounds over time until they became part of you. And as soon as that happened, you went to somebody and said, listen to me, I learned my ABC. A, B, C, D, E. Yeah. Understanding plus time allows you to learn. And it is the learning that we do here in this reality that allows us to have different abilities when we go back to Y.O.U.
It's 9:48.
Okay, it's 9:48.
We can hear you.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Shirley, did that answer your question, man?
Yes. Yes, it does, and thank you very much.
No, don't thank me. I'm just a mouthpiece. You thank the Most High. Thank the ancestors.
Well, thank you for your obedience.
We want to thank
There you go.
Okay.
You are so very
Okay.
welcome. I'm gullible, as we all know.
Right. Hey, we want to thank everybody for calling in. Thank you, Michelle.
Yes, everybody.
Thank you, OG.
Love y'all.
Love
Thank
you
you for all of
too.
Thank
those
you, Louis.
Peace, y'all.
on Facebook that gave us comments and requests. Mick, show me the Facebooks.
We got some more comments. Actually, I need to show you.
Okay, that's what I want to see.
I have to tell my husband the reason why I'm reminding him of
Okay.
time.
And James, okay, I'm trying to. Anything goes with Carla. If you don't know anything about your mother's
Other than
family,
research?
how do you find out about them other than research? Two
Good
things.
question.
Excellent question. Number one, ask the rest of your family. Ask the oldest living family member. Oh, that's what I was looking for. That's number one. Number two is do your own research at the records department, or go do a ancestry.com. I just got my grandfather's marriage certificate that I've never seen anything like. Okay, here we go. Ty saying, Daddy! And Terry Winfield says, real talk, real talk. First of all, what is the etymology of God, and what would make you assume because you do not know that this God is male? Well, if you've been listening, Teddy, you will have heard me say him or her at least 3 times. And Ty says, "Yep, Doc. Mick, y'all going deep." Okay, yeah, we do.
Always, always.
Oh, we got more, boy. We got a whole lot of comments up there. Ty, look at that. I'll be blessed. Mick, you remember when we used to get 2 or 3 comments? Now we get 25 or 30.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget, you all put in comments also what you find that is a blessing of slavery
Yes.
for your own understanding, from your own family experience.
And
Yes.
that's from the book, The Blessings of Slavery, that Doc has renewed the,
Yes.
he did a new edition.
Yes, I did. New edition of The Blessings of Slavery is available online for $12.50.
Right.
Anybody who wants it, just ask for it. We will arrange for you to send us PayPal or something. As soon as we get your money, we will email you a copy of the newest edition of The Blessings of Slavery.
Yeah.
And them hard covers coming real soon.
Ooh, yeah.
And they're in the library, right? Couple libraries.
Yes, they
Yeah,
are.
they're
And we got, I forgot how many. I think it was 12 or 15 copies I sent to Cleveland Public Library. Because the director of the library, director of Cleveland Public Library, thought it would be a
Hey,
good-
Doc, I think this is a great show. We got Lonsky in the house, in the building.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Lon, man, you got any questions? You've been listening. You got anything you want to chime in on before we get up out of here, man? Anything? you like
No,
to say?
everything was, I pretty much, it was interesting. A lot of things, a lot of new stuff. That's what I like, especially new ideas. But a lot of stuff I already kind of, in my ventures in my life, then came across my travels. So it's similar, knowledge. And hey, you just refreshing. It's like a refreshing class for me.
Okay.
A lot of stuff. So that's what's up. I dig it. I dig it. The whole vibe. I love the song. I love the song. I want to hear the song again.
Okay. Well, we
Yeah,
give you
matter of
copy.
fact, I was really. Man, I thought it was Motown.
Hey, no, that's global entertainment, man.
Hey,
That's us.
hey, it was
You
really
represent-
globally moving through me.
Come on.
Represent.
Come on.
Hey, you want me to play a woo-wo going
Yes,
out?
please.
Yeah.
OG, y'all still there?
Yeah, do that. Because that was all good.
Yeah, play a woo-wo, man.
All right, hold on. It's going to be a little silent, so I got to pull it up.
I'm
Okay,
still
wait.
here.
Before you do that, my wife and I have to do our normal peace.
Hold on.
In
Hold on,
closing.
Doc. It's going to take a little minute to do this real quick, so I wanted the dead time. But, OG, did you want to say something else real quick before we get out of here?
No, I just want to say I enjoyed the show. I really did. And I will be watching it more and coming on the show more to, just to, because a lot of stuff Doc talks about, I know a lot about anyway through him. And I just enjoyed the show. I really did. I enjoyed the show.
That is a
Yeah,
blessing.
it's really
Thank
good
you so
vibe.
much.
Really good
And I'm
stuff.
going to share it, and I'm going to share the show with all of my contacts.
Thank you so
Please.
very, very
Appreciate
much.
that.
We
Please do.
appreciate it.
Hey, Doc.
Like, share.
Moment of silence real quick. Let me pull up this song, and then we'll peace out.
Wait a minute.
Right.
Okay. I'm just gonna shut up and do
Go
that.
ahead. Say something. What you want to do?
No. I just wanted to do our peace out, but go ahead.
Okay,
I'll
let
just
me
wait.
pull up this song real quick. It's gonna.
Okay,
'cause we
I
didn't have
know.
it loaded.
Yes, sir. I understand the necessities that a producer must go through.
Okay, it's ready, Doc.
Is it ready?
Yeah.
Okay, in closing, my wife and I always end with the same ending, and that ending is peace, which stands for proper education always corrects error. Don't stand on the line. Don't be on the fence. The fence belongs to Satan. Peace.
This song is about transition. From birth to childhood, adolescence to adulthood. this particular transition is the greatest one and the most important phase of all life. In fact, it's where all life is directed. In English, this phase of transition is called death. But to the Akan, it is known as Y.O.U. Y.O.U. is the spiritual state of all living. It is the condition that drives all of life. It is memory, imagination, and most of all, it is intention. All of creation, all of existence, brings from the depths of Y.O.U. And it is the state we all must return to. Unlike death, Y.O.U. need never be feared. And unlike the concept of conscious dissolution, in Y.O.U., your consciousness is reborn. Reborn with all of your knowledge. Reborn with all of your wisdom. Reborn to your creation. Embrace your homegoing. Return to your origins with celebration. It is the very breath of the Most High.